Yeah, beer. Now we're talking. If you don't like it, then why have you come over here? Because we have quite a variety of beer. And for us, it's more than an alcoholic drink. It's a question of taste, home, and honor. It's our liquid bread because we have a purity law that dates back to 1516, and that states that everything that is brewed in Germany and is sold under the name beer is only allowed to contain the 4 ingredients: water, yeast, hops, and malt. Okay, everything else, any additives, any aromas, would be called a beer-like beverage. We have 5,000 different beers brewed in Germany and 1,200 breweries, and most of them are located in Bavaria. Get ready for it, folks. So only the Czechs have a higher per capita consumption per year than the Germans do. And if you go into a pub, please do yourself a favor and the waiter, be specific, never just order beer. There are so many different beers. If you want to have a recommendation, ask the waiter, you know, what's your recommendation, what's the best local beer, and drink your way through Bavaria. Our coasters are our bills. Now that is more in the northern part, and this is a great invention because if you go into a microbrewery in northern Germany, you don't even have to speak German. You just sit down, and the waiter automatically assumes that you want to have a beer because, hey, you're in a brewery after all. If you dare to order water, he would go like, do you want to have a towel and a piece of soap with it, maybe? Or, but other than that, he puts that glass right in front of you, he makes a mark on your coaster, and all, you know, if your glass is empty, the next round you get another one, you get another one. If you don't want to drink anymore, take the coaster and put it on top of your empty glass. That means that you're ready and that you want to pay. Okay? And then he comes and takes his pencil behind his ear, and then he adds up all the marks that he did on your coaster, and that's basically a system of honor. Okay? So don't mess with the coasters. That's just a little advice from my side. Also goes for water. Fuzzy facts about a fizzy drink. We have very clear regulations for clean water, so almost everywhere in Germany it's absolutely safe to drink water out of the tap because it's checked, that's the law, it's checked 4 times a week. Very thoroughly. Wow. If you order a water in a restaurant, you would probably get a surprise because we have hundreds of different mineral waters. And that's what you get, right? You sit down and you order water, and the waiter automatically assumes you're not talking about a tap water, you're talking about a bottled mineral water, you know? If you want to have a tap water, then please explicitly say so. There are 2 categories. We have a stilles Wasser, still water. This is without gas, you know, not carbonated natural spring water. Then we have Sprudel. This is a carbonated water. And then we have Heilwasser. You don't, you know, unless you desperately want to try it, you can do that. It has a very high amount of minerals, and it usually tastes awful. And this is what people drink, for example, in spas, you know, where they have natural springs with a high amount of mineral. But yeah, well, that is not a very exciting product, I have to say. If you like it ice cold, go to Greenland, because we don't serve ice normally. If you want ice, of course, most of the time you get it, but that's not a standard. Now, how much spare time can you take? I don't know. How much can you? Because we can take a lot. We have 32 days of paid vacation per year, starting from day 1 of our signed contract. As long as you're working in a job that is covered by the union, which is the majority of jobs. So 32 days of paid vacation per year, plus 12 to 15 national holidays per year. That means if you plan your holiday or your vacation accordingly and place the maximum of the national holidays in between, you get the maximum out of your vacation. We are world champions in traveling. 225 billion euros per year we spend on vacation. And if there's a beach, there's a German. I already told you. What the Germans do, for example, the towel territory. Now you assume this. You are in a hotel and you have British tourists and German tourists, right? Now, the British sleep in because they drink a lot of beer in the evening, which the Germans do too, but they still manage to get up at 5:30 in the morning, they take their towel, go down to the pool and reserve themselves a deck chair. And then they go back to bed. Or they go and have breakfast. Now what the British do, you know, when they hang over, they come down and go like, Oh, that's an empty one. They take the towel away, and then they place their beautiful body on that deck chair. And when then the German tourist who reserved the deck chair comes down, he gets furious. You know, I reserved that. And there's no such thing as reservations, sir. And the British really don't like that, because there was one bus driver of a British tourist group. One day he got up and took all the towels of the Germans, took them to the beach, and made a big bonfire out of them. He was a national hero, wasn't he? What, the Daily Star, Daily News, or whatever. Now this is not something that's something that we're notorious for. Also a lot of differences, not odd, it's just different. We say 16 o'clock and we mean 4 p.m. So that's the military time, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay. So if you at the airport or in public places, you always find the military time.
Okay.
Digital-wise, that is. What's the date? Switch days and months. So today is what? The 20th of December, and you write it 12/20/2009.
Right.
So we write it 2012/2009.
Right.
Which kind of helps when you're almost before your 18th birthday, you want to get into a bar, and you have a German ID. I can tell from my own experience, it works. Yeah, well, but some, you know, doormen, they know the game, so if you have a German driver's license or an ID, they don't go for it. Now, our ones sometimes look like a 7 because we have a little, you know, almost like the written one here, we have a little hook on top to indicate that it's a 1. Our 7 would have, as opposed to the printed version here, would have a horizontal line right there in the middle, right? That's a 7. If we write a 9, it almost looks like a small G, because you would make a straight line down and we would have a little hook on the bottom. So if you see a 9 or a flip chart, it is a 9, it's not a G, okay? Also, we switch the full stop right here and the comma. Okay, this is how you would write $5,000, right?
Right.
And we switch the full stop, well, the what you call it, full stop? The period and the comma, okay, to separate the thousands from each other, and we use the comma to separate the cents. Yeah, not odd, just different. And of course, it's welcome to the metrics. If it helps you in any way, just pretend you're in Canada. There you go. It's liters and kilometers and so on and so forth. And yeah, it's not meant in a bad way, but sometimes it's really hard to calculate Celsius into Fahrenheit and miles into kilometers and gallons into... It's a complicated world, I tell you. Yeah. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's quite late, but